There are some basic principles which must exist in order to have a democratic government. These principles often become a part of the Constitution or Bill of Rights in a democratic society. Citizen participation, equality, the political tolerance, accountability, transparency, regular, free and fair elections, economic freedom, control of the abuse of power, Bill of Rights, accepting the results of elections, human rights, multi-party system, and the rule of law. A good citizen of the EU actively exercises her civic duties, respects EU values and contributes to the EU's aims, civic participation. In this way, we are co-creating the future and caring not only for our own world, but also for the world of our descendants.
Since the creation of the European Union, its leaders have sought to strengthen the feeling of belonging to Europe. A major step was taken in 1992 with the Maastricht Treaty, which established European citizenship. There are now 490 million European citizens in the member states. Every citizen of a member state automatically holds European citizenship. This confers numerous rights. Freedom of movement allows them to travel, work, study, and live in any country of the European Union. Citizens are also involved in EU decision-making by directly electing members of the European Parliament, by petitioning the European Parliament, and by calling on the Commission to legislate on a specific issue through the citizens' initiative right. Lastly, citizens' rights are protected by a Charter of Fundamental Rights, by a European Ombudsman in the event of maladministration by the European Union, and abroad by the embassy of another member state if their country of origin is not represented. The European Commission would like to strengthen the feeling of belonging to the European Union, but there are still several challenges to be met: strengthening citizens' rights, better informing them about these rights, and consolidating links between Europeans.
The EU has delivered more than half a century of peace, stability and prosperity, helped raise living standards and launched a single European currency, the euro. The aims of the European Union within its borders are: promote peace, its values and the well-being of its citizens. Offer freedom, security and justice. Establish an internal market. Achieve sustainable development based on balanced economic growth and price stability and a highly competitive market economy with full employment and social progress. Protect and improve the quality of the environment. Promote scientific and technological progress. Combat social exclusion and discrimination. And much more. If we are talking about an individual in a community, or an individual member state in the EU, we can draw a similar conclusion. Integration can be very difficult in many cases, because in a sense it means moving away from one's own culture and habits, but it is important for the well-being of both the community and the individual.
Cultural identity is a set of cultural traits characteristic of a particular group. Cultural identity has to do with who we are. And this identity manifests itself through certain cultural traits, such as language, religion, rites, festivals, artistic manifestations, etc. Even when an individual separates from his group, he carries his cultural identity with him, that is, this set of cultural elements that bind him to the group he is a part of. There are, however, some barriers that may pose some issues for someone to find or maintain their cultural identity. Globalization is such an example. Globalization is a process that leads to the connection of all parts of the world, through the increased and facilitated circulation of information, goods and people. This tends to make cultural identities less rigid, fragile or unstable. When someone migrates to another country, it may also be difficult for that person to keep their cultural identity, as he will inevitably need to adapt to the new environment. The person will blend in and their cultural identity will change to include elements of the culture of the new country.
Culture is the set of customs and traits acquired by man over time, in contact with the environment in which he lives, and which are transmitted from generation to generation. Cultural diversity refers to the coexistence of various ethnicities and cultures within the same community, society, or country. Cultures can be defined based on aspects such as language, traditions, cuisine, religion, costumes, family structure, and art. Cultural conflict can appear when people from different cultures come together and have different ideas about what is acceptable behavior. Cultural conflict can often lead to misunderstandings, which can lead to anger, frustration, violence, hostility, xenophobia, and even war. Accepting differences helps you become a better citizen, make new relationships, and broaden your mind. Being a good citizen is more than just voting and paying taxes. It means accepting others, be it in your family, in society, or even on the other side of the world. Cultural misunderstandings happen when people experience difficulties in understanding each other due to cultural differences. They can happen due to lack of knowledge about others' people culture, ethnocentrism, differences in communication, verbal and non-verbal, and different views about the world. Common misunderstandings: 1. Language-based, caused by linguistic differences. 2. Behavior-based, caused by differences in behavior and nonverbal communication. And 3. Based on stereotypes caused by assumptions about the other person. Nonverbal communication includes facial expressions, body language, gestures, eye contact, touch, space, and voice. Different cultures have different meaning for the same nonverbal communication elements, and this is when the miscommunication happens between people with a different cultural background. Stereotypes are preconceived ideas about a certain group based on their behavior or personality traits. Cultural stereotypes are those associated with race, ethnicity, and culture. While some stereotypes are positive, others are negative and lead to the segregation, exclusion of people, and prejudice against those from that culture. A solution: intercultural dialogue. Communicating, engaging with, and learning about other cultures can help mitigate miscommunication that happens due to cultural differences. Only understanding the other's culture and behavior, we can avoid misunderstandings, stereotypes, and conflicts.
Social and civic competencies are the core of active citizenship. They are the building blocks for a community, and without them, our society wouldn't function. Social and civic competencies are the skills, knowledge, attitudes, and values that enable individuals to participate in society. These skills help us to engage with others, connect with our communities, and contribute to social justice. They include mainly personal, interpersonal, and intercultural skills. The European Commission has identified as core and fundamental social and civic competencies the ability of being aware of rights, freedoms, and responsibilities, being able to take decisions on complex issues, being able to engage in dialogue with others, understanding one's own identity, working together with others, making informed choices. Social and civic competencies are closely related to global citizenship. Global citizenship is the idea that individuals are responsible for the well-being of their world and community on a global scale. It differs from traditional citizenship because it doesn't just mean being a citizen of your country. It defends the idea that we are all citizens of the world, no matter where we live. It's about understanding the cultures and people around us and working to make our communities better. So how do you develop these skills? In order to develop your social and civic competence, you need to be aware of other people and their needs, to improve your intercultural knowledge and your ability to understand and communicate with people from different backgrounds, and to know what your rights and responsibilities as a citizen are. Digital citizenship is defined as the use of technology in a safe, responsible manner. Digital citizenship also means being aware of the impact our actions have on others and ourselves, while also ensuring that we are being ethical in our interactions with others online. Examples of being a good digital citizen are following the rules of online communities, respecting other people's privacy online, and being respectful in your interactions with others online. A digital citizen should be aware of three main topics: online security and privacy, how to interact with others online, and digital well-being. Online security and privacy are two important aspects of our digital lives. Online security and privacy is compromised when our data is exposed to unauthorized users, or when we have weak passwords that can be easily guessed by bad actors. Protecting your online security and privacy means making sure that you protect your identity, passwords, and other sensitive information, and that you use strong passwords on all of your accounts. You can also protect yourself against malware by using a VPN or a password manager. Digital citizenship has a lot to do with how you interact with others online. Netiquette, that is, the set of rules for being polite online, is about being respectful, considerate, and honest online. It's easy to forget how important it is to follow netiquette when you're just trying to get your point across or make a joke, but it's important to remember that other people are reading what you write and seeing what you post. The internet can be accessed by all types of people from all around the world, so it's important to be tolerant of other people's differences and respect everyone even when we don't agree with them. Maintaining good relationships with others online is key for digital wellness, but it's not always possible, especially when we are the ones being the victims of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is the act of bullying someone online. It's a type of harassment and can have serious consequences for the person being bullied. The most common form of cyberbullying is when someone makes mean comments on social media or sends threatening messages, but there are other ways that you can be bullied on the internet, too. It could be through posting your personal information without your permission, like phone numbers or addresses, sharing intimate photos without your consent, or hacking your accounts to change things like your password so that you can't log into them anymore. Cyberbullying can lead to depression and anxiety in some people, but luckily there are a few easy ways you can prevent it from happening to you. First off, if you see anyone being cyberbullied, or if someone is bullying you, report it immediately. You can also block bullies from contacting you on platforms like Instagram or Facebook. Finally, make sure any accounts that are linked to yours are secure by changing your passwords often and not sharing them with anyone else. Remember that you should always prioritize your well-being. This means eliminating negative influences online, and making sure that the time you spend online is intentional and meaningful, that it serves as a way for you to connect with other people or find new ways of making things happen in your life. It's about being aware of your online habits and taking steps to make sure that they're healthy for you.